Right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Savagely beaten, a murder that even left the prosecutor speechless.
It's beyond comprehension for anybody who knew her.
What led up to the death of this innocent 76-year-old woman? More allegations against an area animal shelter. Tonight, a former worker tells our I-Team about the conditions inside.
Our top story tonight, more storms en route to the St. Louis area right now. We're tracking the impacts that could have to your morning commute and for those that are still dealing with the excessive heat.
Yeah, our eyes are on the sky tonight. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. A much-needed break from the heat. Now, Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking overnight storms. Scotty?
And right now, those storms are all still well to our north and west. It'll be a while before they get into St. Louis, but they have been picking up a little bit of intensity as you go back up into parts of Iowa and Nebraska, northwestern portions of Missouri. Around St. Louis, quiet at the moment. We did have some thunderstorms last night and earlier today, and of course with the extra cloud cover around, that limited how warm we were able to get. So the heat, not a problem now for St. Louis. Excessive heat has pressed on to the south. There's a couple of little cells up there in Pike County. Nothing right now to be overly concerned about. These are the storms we have to watch though. As you go northwest of St. Joe, heading back up towards Omaha, these are the storms that will be tracking towards the east and the southeast as we head towards daybreak, and that will give us some pretty intense rain north and northwest of St. Louis in time for the morning rush hour. Now, the overnight forecast from the Storm Prediction Center still would indicate the potential for some gusty winds. We're not sure we're buying into that at this point since most of the storms are going to stay to our north and west until right around daybreak. We'll see in a few minutes. We'll time out what looks to be a spectacular weekend.
We're learning more about a Berkeley woman investigators say was brutally beaten to death by her neighbor.
Tonight, the victim's relatives talked only to our Robert Townsend, and Robert joins us live from the Berkeley Police Department with those emotional interviews. Robert.
Mike and Ann, Eileen Schnicker's family is gripped by shock and sadness. Tonight, they still can't believe they will never see her again. Eileen Schnicker was born and raised in St. Louis. Her family says most recently Schnicker lived in this house on Catlin Drive in Berkeley for more than 10 years with her 2 dogs.
My Aunt Eileen was the most down-to-earth, real person I ever knew.
Eileen was a spectacular person. Not a bad bone in her body.
Family members say Schnicker had one adult son who also lived in this North St. Louis County neighborhood. We're told at 76 years old, Eileen was energetic, full of life, and loved to travel. Schnicker worked as a nurse for 40 years before she retired.
She worked hard. She was a nurse. And she loved her work. We used to talk medicine fairly frequently.
Now they're struggling with their loved one's tragic death.
It's beyond comprehension.
Cheryl Benson Kaufman cannot believe her aunt's next-door neighbor is now charged with beating Eileen to death with a bat and stabbing her in her stomach on her front porch. Family members tell 5 on Your Side the suspect tossed a miniature statue through Schnicker's back windows. Investigators say when Schnicker ran outside, Isaac Heath attacked her.
It's such a tragedy for somebody like this, somebody who gave her entire life, over 40 years in healthcare, to help people, to help others.
Neighbors say they believe Heath needed help for mental issues. Schnicker's nephew, Dr. Randall Benson, is a behavioral neurologist from Michigan.
We have laws on the books, and maybe we need more to protect the citizenry from these sorts of situations.
And family members also tell me in 2 weeks, Schnicker was looking forward to traveling to Florida for a relative's wedding. They are now planning her memorial. We're live in Berkeley, Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
Big delays tonight for Metro bus riders. The transit system says it had to change routes because union workers didn't show up to work today. Some delays were up to an hour. Bi-State, the agency that runs Metro, is currently in contract negotiations with the union. It's blaming today's delays on an organized union action. Union leaders deny that claim, but say its members want to be paid more. Both sides are set to meet again next month. Tonight, a local company has put up the Help Wanted sign. But like most businesses these days, the owners worry they won't have enough applicants.
So they're getting creative to recruit and retain workers. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski shows us how they're reimagining the work week. Laura?
Mike and Ann, Lucia's Pizza is offering a 3-day work week to try and get new employees in the door. They're not alone. Job centers say incentives like this one are essential. Staff at Lucia's Pizza have been slinging up frozen pizza for 40 years in St. Louis. Company president Scott Ashby says demand has grown so much they need to hire 30 additional people just to keep up.
From the pandemic, obviously, pizza is one of those categories that grew. It's a great meal for kids and whatnot. So our business grew.
But they had to get creative to compete with everyone else looking for workers. It's an idea they modeled off the healthcare industry.
You work 3 12-hour shifts over the 6-day period, Monday through Saturday. They don't have to be consecutive. If you show up and work the full 36 hours, you get 4 free hours. Just to make an easy number, at $15 an hour, that equates to a $3,000 a year raise, basically just to show up for work. And you get 4 days off a week to do whatever you want.
Rebecca Ritter with Slate, Missouri Job Center says it's essential for employers right now to offer all sorts of incentives and benefits to not only keep current employees but hire new ones.
The employees and the job seekers are saying, hey, you know, what can you do that the other employer is not doing, or what is my life going to look like if I work for you? And is that accommodating for their lifestyle that they have now?
Ritter says ever since the pandemic, wage increases have not been enough, and now more than ever, people are valuing the quality of their lives.
When there were wage increases, there were people that were still saying, no, my health is way more important. So, you know, there does have to be a holistic approach.
The Missouri Job Center says employers across the board are offering higher wages or bonuses, more benefits, more days off, and even tuition assistance. Ritter says if you're looking to shift careers, now is the time to do it. You can find resource links on ksdk.com.
Laura, thanks. Developing tonight, the City of St. Louis Refuse Commissioner Todd Walterman has been forced off the job. Walterman is on leave while the Personnel Department investigates complaints about his tenure. City residents have been complaining for months about trash piling up along streets and in alleys. Last month, the city spokesperson told us the city is short 10 refuse drivers. Now, it's not clear if his leave is related to the trash troubles. The city's trash collecting services will continue in his absence. Tonight, new testimony and new allegations uncovered by our I-team about a St. Louis County animal shelter.
Last week, we told you about one woman's heartbreak after she said her dog was euthanized without her permission. Now, a former manager tells investigative reporter Paula Vassan that is not the only problem at the facility.
I don't know what dogs think or do not think. I do not know. I don't know if they think, oh, I want to live. I do not want to live. I don't think they think that.
That's Dr. Vanessa Duras, Director of St. Louis County Animal Care and Control. New deposition testimony following this lawsuit against the shelter over the death of a beloved family dog.
I stood in disbelief for what seemed like an eternity, probably only a moment, and went out to my car and called my husband and was just cried.
She says her dog Daisy had been killed at the facility less than an hour after her husband dropped her off as part of a mandatory quarantine. Daisy had bitten their daughter.
They told us that they would take good care of her, and we believe them.
And she believes her experience back in late 2019 stems from employees here misleading pet owners, partly with knowingly inaccurate forms. New court evidence shows over the last 5 years, at least 1,000 people who brought their pets into this facility may have signed inaccurate forms. Court records show people like Bullfin brought their dogs here specifically because they were involved in bites. Then were told to sign forms that said, no person has been bitten by this animal within the past 10 days.
And they just said sign here, here, and here.
Bullfin also says this box on the form, owner requests euthanasia, was checked by a staff member without the family's permission.
Touch. Yes.
Mandy Zatorsky, who now runs her own dog training company in Ellisville, was a manager at the shelter until December 2020.
Yes. Good boy.
I noticed that they were doing things that were illegal, and I called them out on it, and they didn't like that I was not okay with what they were doing.
She tells the I-Team she spoke up about animals dying in cages, living in filthy conditions, and staff misleading pet owners about euthanasia to keep their reported numbers down.
And it's been going on for a very long time.
Zatorsky and others who worked at the shelter tell us staff is pressured to rush euthanasia because the facility is so full.
I was holding them accountable, and I got fired for it.
The latest data available shows the facility's reported euthanasia rate in June was 11.4%. Zatorsky believes it's actually much higher.
How I was told numerous times to stop rocking the boat. That happened a lot.
So she filed this lawsuit against the facility 7 months ago, alleging wrongful termination and retaliation. Right now, she and her attorney are sifting through hundreds of emails and other paperwork. Both Zatorsky and Bulfin say they just want change to prevent another death that shouldn't happen.
I feel disgusted that not only have they not given us any explanation as to why this happened or been apologetic in any way, but they're still allowing these things to happen.
We've been pressing St. Louis County Animal Care and Control for answers. Will the facility be changing its paperwork to prevent what happened to the Bulfin family? Are staff members intentionally asking people to sign inaccurate forms? And if so, why? A spokesperson tells us they can't comment on pending litigation. Bulfin says the shelter hasn't taken responsibility, countersuing her husband for signing the form. A judge dismissed that case. For the I-Team, Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
Happening right now, mental health professionals are standing by to take your call. Project 5 is partnering with Behavioral Health Response for a phone bank. If you are experiencing stress or anxiety, call the number on your screen, 314-469-6644. These phone lines will close at 10:30.
COVID on the rise.
There's no question in my mind that we're missing a vast majority of infections right now.
The steps being taken to avoid another devastating wave. Seeking Plan B claims the recent Supreme Court ruling on abortions has led to a widespread shortage of the contraceptive. We verify.
These are the showers and thunderstorms developing to our north and west that we're tracking through the overnight hours. How that impacts your Friday and what it means for the weekend ahead.
If you have a tip for the 5 on your side I-Team, call us at 314-444-5231 or email 5onyourside@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
Overland is canceling this year's Labor Day fireworks display. Last year's event was canceled after a fight in the crowd gathered at Rittner High School. The mayor of Overland says the display is usually put on by the city, Rittner School District, and neighbors. Some of those involved raised concerns about holding a fireworks display this year. The mayor also said they're looking for a different place to have the event in the future.
Tonight, new concerns about COVID. Cases are once again on the rise. Omicron subvariant BA.5, the most contagious version of the virus yet, now makes up more than 50% of new cases in the U.S. Here in Missouri, the CDC has St. Louis City and County, along with Franklin, Jefferson, and St. Genevieve counties in the high transmission category. In Illinois, there's high transmission in Madison, Jersey, and Calhoun counties. Americans previously infected or protected by the vaccine are now catching the virus.
We are seeing a lot of reinfections within months of prior infections. It's a reminder that an infection does not give you lifelong immunity. It's also a reminder that we're seeing rapid evolution of a virus that's trying to escape that prior infection immunity.
Testing is now underway for a multi-pronged umbrella vaccine aimed at stopping future mutations. A new booster shot to target Omicron is expected this fall. It's been 2 weeks since the U.S. Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade, and the questions about what happens next keep coming in. This includes speculation on social media that one contraceptive pill could soon disappear from the shelves. Abby Larico is here to verify.
We're talking about Plan B, an emergency contraceptive used to stop a pregnancy after other family planning methods failed or were not used. We've been seeing a lot of tweets about a Plan B shortage following the Supreme Court decision and questions about the future of birth control. So let's verify. Is there a Plan B shortage? We checked in with several large pharmacy chains and the FDA, which tracks medicine shortages on its website. Levonorgestrel, the formal name for the morning after pill, is not included there. The retailers we talked to say there is not a shortage of Plan B right now, but some may use purchase limits to ensure they can keep it in stock. Shortly after the Supreme Court decision, Rite Aid confirms its stores began capping sales at 3 boxes per customer. At CVS, a sharp increase in sales led to a temporary purchase limit that's been lifted. A spokesperson tells us now that demand is back to normal. A Walmart spokesperson said they don't have a limit on Plan B purchases right now, but if there's a surge in demand at a particular store, the local management has discretion to put one in place, and they'll often set purchase limits on certain products to prevent stockpiling or reselling. A Walgreens spokesperson says to ensure ongoing access, they have a purchase limit of 15 products per customer when shopping online. Target didn't respond to our request for comment, but when we checked, the maximum number of Plan B boxes available for purchase on Target.com is 6 per order. So we can verify no, there is not currently a Plan B shortage, at least not on a large scale. While we're on this topic, it's also worth a reminder, Plan B is not designated as an abortion pill. The FDA categorizes it with other birth control methods. However, because of the way Plan B works to prevent pregnancy, some are concerned its future could be in jeopardy in states that declare life begins at fertilization. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
What would you like for us to verify? Send an email to verify@ksdk.com.
An opening gambit tonight at the St. Louis Chess Club. Some of the best chess masters from around the country are facing off this weekend. They are the top 10 players in the junior, girls, and senior categories. The first place champions in both junior categories will win a $10,000 scholarship. All eyes and noses are on the Missouri Botanical Garden tonight. Today, horticulturists move Luna the corpse flower into the climatron. It's getting ready to bloom, and when it does, it will emit a foul odor, and that smell always draws a large crowd.
And if it doesn't smell when they're here, they're very disappointed. It does smell very, very badly.
The smell is described as a combination of dirty socks, Limburger cheese, cooking broccoli, and feces.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of like the weather department. The Botanical Garden didn't expect Luna to bloom this year. It should happen within the next 2 weeks.
The best part is people can't control themselves.
People
they want to
go
it.
smell that. I
kind of want to go smell it.
No, I do not.
Even though it's disgusting, you just want to see for smell for yourself.
Well,
Scott.
we have a cat named Luna. I'd like to take the cat in there to see Luna. See what happens when the cat sees Luna. All right, here's what's going on weather-wise. We're pretty quiet around the St. Louis area right now. If you're going to be heading over to Missouri Botanical Garden over the next couple of days, tomorrow's warmer, but this weekend does look outstanding. You can see the focus again is to our north with the showers and thunderstorms. The only spots within the last hour where we've been able to detect really any rain, it's been north of Troy here. There's been a little shower sliding by there, couple around Bowling Green, but they are really hit and miss small, and they're zipping right along. So we don't think there's going to be a lot of development there. Most of it's occurring back in northwest Missouri, back into parts of Nebraska right now, into Kansas. We actually have a front that's draped pretty close to the St. Louis area right now, and it'll be along and north of this front where these showers and thunderstorms continue to blossom overnight and then press on to the east and maybe east-southeast. So by the time we get into early tomorrow morning, our chances for rain will be on the increase. We're still at 83 degrees. That is better than it has been the last few nights. Feels like it's 88 with a dew point of 71. We did get to 91 late this afternoon. Our temperatures this morning did drop back into the 70s, and we're in the 70s again tomorrow morning. Those storms would be rolling in right around daybreak. So here we are as we check out your future cast. It's mostly the far northern counties that we're more concerned about here through the overnight hours. Areas that have seen rain the last couple of nights, same focus there. But then we'll see some of that action try to push towards St. Louis around daybreak, taking us through tomorrow morning's rush hour. And then that first wave kind of shifts onto the east. We have that murky sky like we had for much of this morning. And then we wait for tomorrow afternoon when the actual cold front starts to come through. We'll see some more spot showers and thunderstorms popping up. As far as the heat goes, we've broken the worst of it in St. Louis. Our heat index values will stay in the 90s to around 100 heading into Friday afternoon. But farther to the south, we still have that excessive heat warning stretching from Salem, Missouri, back over through Potosi to Farmington to Sparta over to Mount Vernon. The good news is for the weekend, we're kicking the heat and humidity both out of the bi-state area. There is a very slim chance early on Saturday there might be a spot shower, but otherwise the humidity is going down. We're in the mid to upper 80s. Sunday maybe close to 90 degrees, but the humidity levels Sunday are going to be absolutely outstanding as the drier air is in place. Now, it'll be a little more muggy by Monday. We're back into the mid-90s. Doesn't last long. Another system slides through on Tuesday. And so most of the end of next week, typical July weather or slightly below average temperatures. How about that?
All right, Scott, thanks. Hannah is up next with sports.
The St. Louis Blues have their first-round draft pick locked, and we hear the latest on the Matthew Tkachuk trade rumors coming up next in sports. Despite losing 6 of their last 7, the Cardinals still somehow remain 3 games back from the Brewers for the NL Central lead. And that says more about the division as the Cards look to avoid the sweep tonight. So let's head to Atlanta. This was a game of pitching early on. Matthew Liberatore getting the start against Spencer Strider, who was dominant. Paul Goldschmidt would be the 9th Cardinal to strike out in 3 innings. All on Strider fastballs above 97 miles per hour. 12 Ks total for him. Luckily, Liberatore was able to match him with zeros. 4 scoreless frames for the starter, 3 hits, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts tonight. 7th inning, and here comes number 5. Albert Pujols hits one to left for an RBI sac fly to give the Cards a 1-run lead, number 121 in his career. The Braves tie it later in the inning with a home run off Giovanni Gallegos, and they go to extra innings. Top of the 11th, Dylan Carlson will sneak one through for a base hit, driving in Nolan Arenado as the Cardinals hang on to win 3-2 and snap the streak as they return home. We're still waiting to see which Major League Cardinals are heading to the All-Star game in Los Angeles, but today we found out which prospects are heading there. The 20-year-old third base and shortstop combo of Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn will represent the Cardinals in the 2022 All-Star Futures game. The pair was drafted together, has raked so far in the minors, and now is heading to LA for their biggest showcase yet. The 2022 NHL Draft began tonight in Montreal, and the Blues had the number 23 overall pick. So let's take a look at whose life just changed forever.
The 23rd selection, the St. Louis Blues are pleased to select Jimmy Snuggerud, NTDP.
The newest member of the Blues organization, Jimmy Snuggerud. The right winger is a top 6 forward in the USA national program. He's a Minnesota native and Golden Gopher like Justin Falk, Scott Perunovich, and Nick Leddy. His father, Dave Snuggerud, is also a former NHL right winger who played for the Sabres, Sharks, and Flyers. The Blues have 4 picks in rounds 2 through 7 on Friday. Imagine seeing another Tkachuk in a St. Louis uniform. Calgary forward Matthew Tkachuk is coming off a 40-goal and 100-point season and is projected to average $10 million a year in his next contract. With the Blues' current cap space situation, that wouldn't be possible without a blockbuster move. Regardless, rumors have circulated about the Blues' interest in making a trade for the St. Louis native, but Blues insider Andy Strickland shot down those rumors today.
I was just in communication with the general manager, Brad Treliving, of the Calgary Flames. They're trying to sign Matthew Tkachuk. They have no interest in trading him right now, either here at the draft or anytime this summer. They want to get him signed. So I don't want to crush the dreams and the hopes of Blues fans out there, but the latest news that I'm being told just within the last few minutes, Hannah, is that Matthew Tkachuk is not on the table to be traded.
Only time will tell. The city of Chesterfield announced its partnership with Perfect Game, the world's largest youth baseball and softball platform and scouting service. This will bring competitive tournaments and events to the Chesterfield Valley Athletic Complex, but that's not all it's doing for the area.
So on a couple levels, I'm really excited about this will really go far as to growing the game in the area, in the region, giving our youth an opportunity to get out and play in a really high level tournaments, and as well as recreational tournaments. You know, we're looking at building the game for all of our youth and community.
A lot to look forward to. That is it for sports. Mike and Ann, back to you guys.
All right, Hannah, Cardinals finally get a win. Thanks.
And a little bit more Cardinals. Number 4 and number 50. They are celebrating them. It's a home run for fans too. The hours you have left to score these bargain tickets.
Well, we know Yadier Molina is hanging up his catcher's gear at the end of the season, and tonight the Cardinals announced they're honoring his Hall of Fame career with a new line of merchandise and memorabilia. This special logo is printed on t-shirts, hats, and other collectibles, and they're on sale now at the Cardinals team store at Busch Stadium.
Yachty and Adam Wainwright are battery mates and best buds. Right now, the Cardinals are celebrating number 4 and number 50 with a flash sale. You can buy tickets to all remaining Monday through Thursday home games for $4.50. Hurry. The deal runs through tomorrow. Everybody on our website has been clicking on that and getting those tickets.
And we need to get Yachty healthy so we can get back in the lineup. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.